Well, hi and welcome to this Gravitech webinar. Dave Flanagan is Gravitech's marketing manager for the United States and Canada. With over 20 years of experience across multiple industries, from B2C to B2B and distribution to manufacturing, Dave has worked in product management and product marketing in the industrial and consumer goods sector. As marketing manager for Gravitech, Dave helps businesses gain a better understanding of marking identification and traceability standards. A big welcome to Dave Flanagan. And with that, I'd love to pass things along to Dave to get this webinar started. Dave, go right ahead.
Thank you for the introduction. We're excited to share our knowledge on the best practices in marking and traceability with you today. Let's begin by introducing myself and our company, Gravotech. My name is Dave Flanagan, and I'm the marketing manager for Gravotech. I have been in the manufacturing and distribution industry for over 20 years and help businesses gain a better understanding of marking identification and traceability standards. Since we are limited on time, I will answer all possible questions at the end of the presentation. If your question is not answered in our webinar today, you will receive a personal phone call from a Gravitech expert to discuss your topic. In today's webinar, we will cover just a few minutes on who we are, then what is direct part marking, why we need direct part marking, how to add direct part marking into your manufacturing process, and how to physically mark different materials with multiple technologies. Okay, so who is Gravotech? Why are we qualified to educate you on the best practices in marking and traceability? Well, whether you know it or not, every day, everywhere, Gravotech is in your life. You can find us in the engraving on your jewelry, ID numbers in your phone, the VIN number marked on your car, serial numbers on medical devices, and even implants inside someone's body. How do we do this? Well, Gravotech is built on three outstanding brands. Type 3 is our software brand focusing on 3D artistic CAD/CAM solutions, like designers working on 3D modeling designs for anything from engine parts to jewelry. Gravograph products are focused on rotary engraving machines and benchtop engraving and marking lasers. And Technifor branded products focus on dot-peen, scribing, and the latest laser technologies in the manufacturing market. These are the solutions most people listening today will be interested in. With over 1,000 employees, Gravotech has offices and distributors in over 100 countries and 3 manufacturing sites in Duluth, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Troyes, France, near Paris, and Shanghai, China. So if you're working with a contract manufacturer in another country, you can actually work with Gravotech where you are and design the best marking solution for your product. Then have your overseas factory work with their local Gravotech office to install the marking solution exactly to your specifications. For example, years ago when I was a product manager for a healthcare manufacturer and distributor, I was working with contract manufacturers in China. We went back and forth with samples and they just couldn't get the right permanent marking solution that we needed. At the time, I didn't know about Gravotech. I wish I did, because I could have just had Gravotech in the US design the system and let their office in China set it up in our manufacturing facility there. It would have saved a lot of headaches. So, Gravotech can build a bridge between you and your global partners. As a local and global marking expert, we don't just sell you a marking solution and then disappear. We'll support you for as long as your facility is in operation for things like project design, installation, training, maintenance, and ongoing support. And here are just a few of the 60,000 customers worldwide in the industries from automotive transportation, professional engraving and sign makers, medical and healthcare, to consumer and industrial products. As you can see, our marking solutions and expertise are valued by some of the most recognized names worldwide. So enough about who we are and why we are qualified. Let's talk about actual marking and traceability. Tracking goods can be a tricky business. With component after component being used to make products, how do you keep track of everything? With direct part marking. Direct part marking is the method of marking products directly on the surface during or after the manufacturing process. Not all methods are permanent and may need to be remarked, costing time and money. For over 78 years, we've tested lots of methods and we recommend 4 technologies: laser, rotary, dot-peen, and scribing. Here are some examples of direct part marking. As you can see, the marks are permanently etched into the surface of the part without damaging the surface or affecting the working functionality of the part. Now you may be thinking, direct part marking is nice, but why would I need to spend time and resources marking products? My products are top quality and never fail. That may be true, however, it is driven by much more. A large portion of the direct part marking is from government regulations such as U.S. military UID and FDA UDI marking for medical products. Some industry practices, such as the bearing industry, require direct part marking because of severe counterfeiting from other countries. In the image to your right, you can see how noticeable counterfeit marks can be. Other industries, like automotive and aerospace, carry enormous amounts of liability that they need to track each and every part to its origin in case of safety malfunctions. Branding and identification allow a company to forever mark their product with a name, logo, date, and more that cannot be removed. Traceability is also benefited by direct part marking because in-process setup and inventory can all be monitored electronically. All costs are reduced by being able to precisely pinpoint warranty issues and recalls. All of this boils down to providing a competitive advantage for your company. Cost reduction is a major consideration for manufacturers to implement a marketing and traceability. U.S. manufacturers spend more than $25 billion every year on product warranties. Automotive warranty costs alone exceed $9 billion per year. Part traceability solutions work to eliminate recalls by providing real-time reports on the machines, components, stations, shifts, and operators involved in the defective product and processes before the product is shipped. This allows for earlier design changes to improve parts performance and reduce in-process costs. Traceability functionality has emerged as a true competitive advantage for the manufacturing supply chain. There are, of course, both short-term and long-term benefits for implementing marking and traceability. The short-term benefit is to identify products affected by the defect after customer delivery to minimize recall costs. This minimizes the number of products that must be recalled when a manufacturing flaw is found by identifying only the specific serial numbers that were built with the faulty component or material or by the faulty process. The long-term benefit is to identify defects prior to the customer delivery and reduce in-process costs and eliminate the need and cost of a recall. Liability. We live in a litigious society. Liability for manufacturers is a huge consideration. Consumers, customers, government agencies, and courts expect higher quality standards and levels of corporate responsibility. It is up to the manufacturer and supply chain to track their processes and business information so critical safety-related decisions and operations related to warranty issues can be properly analyzed. If you've ever been involved with a product liability lawsuit, you know the first thing your company's attorney is going to ask you is, did we or someone else make it? How do we know? That leads to another concern for manufacturers: counterfeiting. Marketing and traceability can lower the liability for manufacturers by having a clear and concise history of the part. Manufacturers can add small nuances to their marked parts to easily prove a fake mark from a real mark. Again, this helps you and your attorney answer who made it and if it's yours. In case you didn't know it, $1.77 trillion is spent on counterfeit parts such as brake pads, steering linkages, valves, and more. Here is a counterfeiting example for spark plugs. A counterfeiter can make a product that looks like yours but is completely inferior and fails. Only permanent direct part marking can prove the fake from the real and make it harder to copy. As you can see here, there are hundreds of parts that make up a single vehicle. How are you currently combating counterfeiting and protecting your company and reputation? Are you using direct part marking? Now let's talk about government marking requirements. The government is discovering that marking and traceability is an ever-growing need. We will discuss two specific regulations that are required by the government. The U.S. military requires UID marking. Companies need a partner with extensive knowledge about marking and traceability requirements. These two marks look very similar, but only one is a U.S. military UID mark. Do you know which is correct? The mark on the left is correct. Our Technifor software has capabilities to help create these marks for you. Along with tracking goods for the military, the U.S. government has implemented unique device identification for all medical devices being used in the U.S. For years, there has not been a good system for tracking medical devices. In 2006, the maker of a surgical clip called Hemolock issued an urgent recall notice warning doctors to stop using the fasteners on living kidney donors. It said the clips could dislodge in their bodies with serious, even life-threatening consequences. Not everyone got the message. A surgeon in Brooklyn used one of the clips to tie off Michael King's renal artery when he donated a kidney to his ailing wife. 12 hours later, the clip popped off. King bled to death internally. He was only 29. Situations like this can and are being prevented thanks to the new traceability system. By September 24, 2020, all devices will have both human and machine readable codes permanently marked on their surface. For more detailed information on FDA UDI required marking, please watch our webinar, FDA UDI Marking, Are You Prepared? On demand at globalspec.com, dated May 18, 2016. So, to integrate or not to integrate? Now that we know why permanent marking is a best practice in manufacturing, let's discuss how it gets done. How do you add marking solutions into your manufacturing facility? Integrate or not to integrate? What is integration? One of the best practices in marking is direct integration into your production line. Direct part marking systems can be introduced into an autonomous operation to meet the process requirements and cycle times of the production line. The marking of parts is often tied to a step in the production process that requires acknowledgement of a past testing or when the specific step in the process is complete. The best practice involves data that is marked on parts, is read through a data matrix code, and the info is saved to a database for traceability of that specific part. So why spend time and money integrating directly into your production line? You can control the marking at the location that is associated with the requirement, easily meet cycle time requirements for production, and better control the marking process versus having a manual operation that relies on a person or an operator to correctly complete the process. We have a short video overview to explain integrating marking machines into your production line. So, with any integration, it doesn't come without certain challenges and considerations to create the best solution. By asking yourself a few questions, it makes the process simple. What is the physical area available for the marking equipment at the location required in the production line? How will the part be presented to the marking system and then taken to the next step in production? Also consider part handling, manipulation, and holding of the part. How will the marking system communicate from the production line PLC or other company databases and control system? What is the physical positioning of the marking equipment within the production assembly line? Space is sometimes very limited. Safety considerations are of course important, and the variability of components, types, and batches. Best practice to help answer these questions is to consult with a permanent marking specialist. What are the other options besides integration? If you have answered those questions and integration does not work with your process, you can always add a separate standalone marking station. These are typically manual load and unload stations with marking occurring automatically upon completion of the process or a test at the station. These standalone stations can be completely customized depending on the application and marking technology used. Again, the best practice is to have an experienced permanent marking specialist design a solution for you. Now let's talk about how to physically mark the product. Even though we recommend 4 specific marking technologies, that doesn't mean they are the only methods available. A few others include hand marking, which is easy to implement but slow and inconsistent. It's also labor intensive, and when a hammer smashes a thumb, it can be expensive. Inkjet application is fast and programmable, but it's not permanent and can be removed. Ink is not cheap, and the solvent is an environmental liability. Presses can make fast permanent marks, but they're not very flexible and setup is time consuming. They can't be used on hard or fragile parts, and they can be dangerous. And a chemical etch is inexpensive, but slow and inconsistent. Plus, it also has environmental waste as well. For all the reasons mentioned above, we do not feel these marking methods are considered best practices in marking. Now, if you're currently using one of these methods and it's working for you, that's just fine. Best permanent marking methods. Gravotech recommends the following methods as best practices in permanent marking: pneumatic dot-peen micropercussion, electromagnetic dot-peen micropercussion, scribing, and 4 different laser types including fiber, green, CO2, and a hybrid. Mark and Read is also a technology that allows barcodes and other 2D codes to be read by software systems. So how do you choose which technology works best for your manufacturing process? Let's explore lasers. Laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The only contact made to the part is by the laser light wave. This makes laser marking ideal for sensitive materials damaged by other technologies. Lasers are compatible with a wide variety of materials, including glass, wood, ceramic, metal, plastic, and many more. 4 different types of lasers are manufactured by Gravotech and will be discussed in just a moment. Lasers are available in gantry and galvo forms fitting every environment. This video will show you a few different marking options when it comes to lasers. First, we have direct part marking. The laser etches a mark onto the surface of a device, leaving behind a small, highly contrasted mark readable by both humans and machines. Second, we have a device that does not have a clean surface but still requires a mark. The laser cleans the surface and then creates the permanent and direct mark. Third, we can take an entire layer of material off a device. This type of marking is great for engraving aluminum rating plates, where a contrasting color is left on the tag, making it very easy to read. Fourth, we can create a black mark on a device surface. This type of mark is great for larger component pieces where it can be difficult to spot the identification mark. Finally, we have the deep engraving. This is where a large portion of material is removed to create a 3D product. This is typically reserved for intricate details or a production mold. The CO2 laser is the first solution we will discuss. A CO2 laser is very popular for use with organic materials, including wood, rubber, leather, minerals such as glass, ceramic, and more. The CO2 laser is capable of working with transparent plastics and covered metals. This particular laser is available in two versions, gantry and galvo. A gantry laser moves the laser optics along the x-axis over the top of the product. The laser is contained within a safe, Class 1 cabinet, allowing it to be used anywhere, even in a storefront. There are 6 standard sizes and over 25 different power levels in the gantry version. The galvo version is a stationary laser that can be integrated in multiple positions with extremely fast cycle times. Respectful of the environment, its operation is clean, without ink deposits or solvent emissions. Its operating costs are minimal due to the lack of consumables or maintenance. This laser solution also helps reduce your carbon footprint. One of the most exciting features is the new on-the-fly marking with the galvo range. This range identifies stationary or moving parts while maintaining constant coating quality. This traceability solution offers high speed, readable, and permanent marking. Here's a list of materials marked with CO2 lasers. In the case of uncoated stainless steel and brass, CO2 is not the best laser, but when a product called Surmark is applied first to the surface, it will leave a nice readable mark. In this short video, we can see how fast a CO2 galvo laser can mark. First, we will look at some 2-ply plastic. The red laser gives a preview area for where the mark will be placed, and then it's marked by the CO2 laser. Don't blink or you'll miss it. As you can see, it is extremely fast and produces a high-resolution mark easily read by both humans and machines. The next material is a painted metal tube. The mark needs to follow the curvature of the surface while marking deep enough to go through the paint to the metal surface. Lastly, we have a wooden handle screwdriver. The mark is lined up and finished. As you can see, the mark is applied quickly and with ease. Next are fiber lasers from Gravotech, available in both galvo and gantry versions like the CO2 laser range. Fiber lasers are the ideal solution for small spaces, so you can easily integrate marking into your production. On a line or robotic arm, it is simple to install in all positions, considerably reducing installation time and cost. Very durable, it is sealed from dust and water splashes in the most harsh environments. The fiber laser works with a wide variety of products, but has a particularly positive effect on uncoated metals. It produces a high-resolution black mark that is easily seen by both machines and humans. Deep marking is easily achieved with the F50 series. Produce identification marks that are tamper-proof and stand up against many manufacturing processes. Here's a list of materials that can be marked by fiber lasers. In this video, we will see how a fiber laser can produce very deep marks on a circular metal part. This is the part we are going to engrave. It is steel that needs to be deeply marked around the top circumference. As you can see, the fiber laser cuts into the material like butter to produce a deep mark that can withstand painting, sanding, washing, and more. The green laser is a new innovation from Gravotech. It utilizes a type of marking called cold marking. Cold marking applies minimal heat to the product, which reduces mechanical stress and distortion to the parts. The green laser can also create extremely small, high-resolution marks to work with the smallest of sensitive components. Copper, silver, gold, and plastic are a few of the materials that react well with this particular laser. This range uses a 532nd nanometer wavelength to mark materials not reacting to infrared wavelengths. And here's a list of materials suitable for green lasers. The hybrid is also a new innovation from Gravotech. Contrasted, discrete, deep, or surface marking, the possible effects are numerous. The extensive frequency range means marking can be adapted to each application and any type of material. The hybrid solution is a compact and independent turnkey system. Its all-in-one design is secure, easy to install, and free from wiring constraints. Installation is simple with only a single cable. This laser boasts a unique diode pump solid-state source that has a pulse energy as powerful as a fiber laser, but it's a little different. Not unlike the green laser, it reduces the amount of heat that is applied to the part, making it more versatile. With the highest peak power in the range, it provides contrasted marking on a range of materials with the best reaction occurring with metals and plastics. Here are some materials marked by the new hybrid laser. New all-in-one Technophore lasers from Gravotech are easier to integrate and connect to current operating systems. Cognex cameras are a new innovation from Gravotech. The Cognex camera is a system that allows the reading of a mark directly after the mark has been applied. This allows the operator to confirm the mark is accurate and contains all the necessary information. Because what good is a mark if you can't read it? We saw this demonstrated in the integration video we saw earlier. Gravotech also manufactures a 3D module accessory where the laser can mark different levels of the same part without repositioning the laser itself. Another great innovation from Gravotech is the autofocus ability. Autofocus is an accessory for laser machines that allows you to mark parts on a production line of varying heights without delaying progress. This is key to keeping a production line moving efficiently. Gravotech lasers also have the ability to self-diagnose problems directly from the control screen. Data is displayed in real time directly on the laser machine regardless of whether it operates independently or connected to your environment. Be sure your laser systems have important safety features such as key to activate, shutter open-close to deactivate the laser, an emergency stop, and an interlock to control on-off functions. Now that we've talked about different lasers, let's talk about different mechanical marking machines. Rotary engraving and cutting is another very popular form of marking. Rotary engraving is a term used to describe engraving done with a rotary cutting tool in a motorized spindle. The tool, or cutter, cuts into the surface of the material to a predetermined depth and produces a groove of the same shape and dimension of the cutter. Rotary engraving can be performed on a wide variety of materials from plastic, brass, aluminum, and more. Rotary engraving can be found in the awards industry, industrial manufacturing, signage manufacturing, and more. In this quick video, you can see a variety of materials and intricate work you can perform with a rotary machine. Dot-peen and scribing are the remaining two direct part marking methods we recommend. Dot-peen marking is a technique used for traceability on almost any material. Dot-peen leaves a series of dot indentations without removing any of the component material. Scribing produces a continuous carved mark and is much quieter than dot-peen machines. The common materials used with these technologies are typically metal and other hard materials. Since this machine requires a hard strike to the surface of a part, it is not recommended for sensitive and delicate parts. You may have seen this technology commonly used for automobile VIN numbers. In this video, we demonstrate how a dot-peen machine works. This particular video also shows one of our latest innovations, the 3D stylus. A normal dot-peen machine can only mark on a flat surface, but the 3D stylus can do much more and does not require extra accessories like a rotary device. You can mark a single part with a varying height from 2 millimeters up to 18 millimeters. Custom solutions. Not all off-the-shelf solutions work for every situation. Gravotech can create a custom solution to fit any need. In this example, a laser was installed onto a compartment to mark a particular component for an oven. The oven part is moved along the conveyor under the marking area to ensure the entire piece is fully marked. Another example was for a small rotary machine to be added to a cosmetic store. The machine needed to be contained within a safety enclosure to prevent untrained individuals access to the machine. We also created custom, picture-driven software to easily engrave in 5 steps. Everyone's needs are different, and Gravotech can find a solution for every need. Galvo lasers can be enclosed in many different forms to create standalone stations. Here you can see a few different enclosures we have custom manufactured for our customers. As you can see in the top right image, there is no enclosure. This is because the room has been secured and the operator is wearing special laser safety glasses. It all depends on the need of the customer. These images are sections of production lines that house laser solutions to mark parts. Each laser is safely contained within its own custom enclosure. A new invention is the Class 1 nose cone as shown in the bottom right image. This nose cone allows the laser beam to be contained without the use of a large enclosure. This is ideal for small, tight spaces. Along with the machines to physically mark the parts, you'll need a software solution to drive the machine. Gravostyle 8 drives gantry and rotary machines and has been optimized to handle industrial operations as well as 3D engraving. Laser Trace is used to drive Galvo lasers. This software has functions specifically dedicated to traceability and automation. 3Design is a tool used by many to create custom jewelry designs and renderings. TypeEdit is a complete CAD/CAM software focused on manufacturing needs. And lastly, Type 3 CAA is an add-on to CATIA for industrial and artistic applications dedicated to manufacturing designs. In summary, we learned: we know who Gravotech is, what direct part marking is, why direct part marking is needed, how direct part marking can be added to your manufacturing process, and how to permanently mark different materials with multiple technologies. Thank you very much for attending our webinar today. And now we'll reply to just a few questions since we are running low on time.
Dave, thank you for that great presentation. Your first question, Dave, if I already have a Cognex camera, can I use it with your lasers?
Depending on your current use, it should not be a problem to integrate with our lasers. Our experts can work out the best solution for you. Lighting options can be modified to give the best possible image. In case there is an issue with the camera, there's no need to replace the entire laser, just the camera. These cameras are compatible with all Galvo lasers from Gravotech, by the way.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much for that answer. Let's take a look at another question. What communications are possible with a Technophore controller?
Communications with the Technophore controller. Technophore solutions can communicate using PLC or PC using input-output, ASCII, Ethernet, TCP, IP, and Profinet. So a wide range of communications.
Thank you very much, Dave. And here's another question. When integrating your product, I will need to have solid drawings, command instructions, and manuals. Are these available and how do I get them?
Okay, so we have a feature on our website called Member Access. You can sign up for this on www.technophore.us. You will have a password sent to you within 24 hours to gain access to all the information you will need for your integration. Someone from Technophore will also contact you shortly after to be sure you located everything you need. This person will also serve as your point of contact for everything you need in the future.
Okay, Dave, thanks for that answer. Let's take a look at another question, shall we? When integrating a scribing solution, how much force will need to be considered for mounting the marking head and fixing the part?
Yes, Gravotech has integration guides with technical data to help design and build marking solutions. The best action is to speak with a Gravotech expert, and they can help you build the perfect solution.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much for that last answer. And it looks like we're almost out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up this webinar right there. Thanks for sharing your expertise with all of us today. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.